Do not misunderstand it. This is not power of your creation.
Drippin' so Kage, no tell beef can solve it. Never have breaks, no off days. Bitch, my drip ho. Look, boy, I'm a legend, but bound my presence. Don't test me, I'm ready. My drip like Hokage. See you and I, we both had nothing in common. I move like Kakashi, I do shit to bro. Let's go, let's go. Young Shinobi from the unknown. Said I gotta show that I'm with it. I got gusto, not tell fast. I kill him, we all cut thoughts.
What makes a good villain? Power is not the only deciding factor. Making a character strong is way too easy. There are many depths and layers that should also be taken into consideration. They could be incredibly intellectual, have many likable qualities, and some even have admirable motives behind their actions. This is my list of top 10 villains. And at number 10 we have Isabella. At first glance, Isabella doesn't seem like a villain. She's a caretaker at an orphanage and all the children clearly love her, referring to her as mother. From the exterior, she seems like a kind-hearted, soft and incredibly generous mother to these children. But there's a twist. She's been deceiving the children the entire time. The orphanage is actually a human farm where children are raised like cattle to be fed to demons. To raise these children as your own kids knowing they are simply livestock is something truly villainous. The purity and innocence of these children makes it that much more evil. At number 9, Susuke Aizen. As one of the captains in the Soul Society, he portrayed himself as a soft-natured individual with a plain personality. Nothing about him really stood out. Faking his own death, he would later appear in the middle of warfare, revealing his true intentions. This entrance was phenomenal. The shock and the immense strength that he displayed was unworldly. He easily defeats those around him using only his finger. He clearly outclassed everybody in the Soul Society during that time, and he showed no remorse. The difference in appearance was shocking enough, but the power was on another level. He treats all those around him like pawns and would dispose of all of them at a moment's notice. His genius level intellect and catastrophic power makes him an all-rounded monster. He then goes on to commit unethical experimentations, brutally torturing his subjects to heighten his already devilish power level. At number 8, Frieza. To be honest, I was considering putting Piccolo because of this pointy abomination he puts on his feet. Or even Goku for being a deadbeat dad and letting someone else father his son whilst he's chasing around monkeys. But I decided Frieza is an actual villain, and is very racist at times.
I'd expect nothing less from that monkey. I didn't think I'd see Vegeta here too, but monkeys do travel in troops.
He does not hold back any blows and takes pleasure in destroying planets. He'd then laugh about it afterwards. He attacks his allies whenever he feels like it. Frieza is just pure evil and an actual menace. At number 7, Tomura Shigaraki. As the leader of the League of Villains, it makes sense he is on the list. He has a deep hatred for society and takes great pleasure in creating carnage whenever possible. His sometimes childish antics and sadistic nature are a result of his difficult upbringing, adding greater depth to his character. What made me like him so much was his appearance. He has messy hair, scars all over his face, there's decapitated hands all over him, and even his constant scratching. His afflictions are caused by his power decay, which destroys everything it touches. A lot of time was spent on Shigaraki to build the ultimate calamity of a villain that he is. And when you learn about his tragic backstory, you can't help but to love him even more. On to number 6, we have Don Flamingo. He watched his mother die at a young age, and not long afterwards he was tortured by the villagers. His life was a living hell, and he directed all that hatred towards his father. Don Flamingo executed his own dad whilst his younger brother was crying in his arms. Later on, he killed his brother, deforesting his family tree at last. You would think that's bad enough, but he also turned most of his kingdom's population into puppets against their own will. But that's not why he's number 6. He's number 6 because look at that drip! A walk like that is the sign of a certified killer.
That's split.
Look at his coat, please. Can we get a close up on the pink feather coat? If this was in top 10 anime drippy characters, he would be number 1. But I digress. At number 5 we have Miriam, the main antagonist of the greatest arc in Hunter x Hunter. Miriam was created by absorbing high energy life force from humans. Initially he was a merciless tyrant who used human lives as fodder. He seeked not only to best them in physical strength but also in intellectual prowess. He studied all the popular strategy games and would master them instantly. His desire for power transcended strength. For him, eradicating humanity was an easy feat, and he was going to prove without a doubt he was the best, no matter the subject matter. However, he was unprepared for his greatest challenge. A young blind girl who would best him in every match. She was able to shake his resolve and evolve Miriam's perspective of humanity. She taught him that strength can manifest in different ways. His dynamic characteristics and his sense of justice was incredibly profound. Miriam is no ordinary villain. The interaction between these two characters are uplifting. And at number 4 we have Blackbeard. He is the epitome of a villain in One Piece and the direct opposite of the main character Luffy. He killed his own crewmates, which is the worst thing you can do as a pirate. His first to become the Pirate King is almost uncomparable. He literally has never slept a day in his life. Like, he's just awake 24/7. He seems like a dumb coward most of the times, but a great deal of planning goes into his every move. His power is a mirror of his personality. He has complete control over darkness and turns everything into nothingness, similar to that of a black hole. There's a lot of mysteries behind Blackbeard and his powers, but best believe whenever he makes an appearance, something big is bound to happen. Why is he number 4? He got my favorite character killed. This guy's an op. At number 3, Madara Uchiha, a warmongering battle demon. His name carried so much weight that when the 5 nations heard he came back to life, they had to gather all their forces together to even stand a chant. This has never happened before in all of history. His aura was so overwhelming, he was at the focal point during all the episodes he was in. Madara is mentioned many times before you meet him. In fact, you even see his statue 8 years before he makes his appearance in flesh form. The anticipation was incredible and was felt both in the anime world and the real world. Although he's portrayed as a villain, from a young age he wanted a peaceful world where nobody would ever feel pain, especially his family. However, this would come at a heavy cost since many lives were lost in his attempt to fulfill his ambitions. At number 2 we have Light, a bloodhound tainted by the power of the Death Note. At first he would only kill criminals and those he believed are deserving of such a fate. But slowly as the story progresses, his sociopathic behavior kicks in. He starts killing innocent people and even those close to him. The sadistic angel of death is high on the list due to his incredible deductive abilities. Manipulating all those around him and killing thousands in the process really makes the name Light ironically comical. He goes from this
Follow the teachings of God and receive his blessings, and so it shall be.
To this. You see the excitement and the pleasure he experiences as he slashes them to death. And because he's the main character of the show, you sometimes forget how bad of a person he actually is. He processes situations so quickly and methodically, it's hard to believe that he's actually human. Admittedly, Light is such a great villain due to his counterpart L. Through their elaborate schemes to try and best each other, the excitement you feel goes through the roof. Light definitely wouldn't be the great character that he is today if it wasn't for L pushing him forward. And for the number 1 spot we have Pain. Everything about him was so unique and fresh. He had a tragic backstory, amazing and diverse power usage, and his execution was extraordinary. Let's not forget he is the leader of the Akatsuki, the greatest group in all of anime. Whenever you saw the clothing or heard their theme music, you'd get chills. Pain lived in a battlefield. Accustomed to war, he was no stranger to tragedy. He lost his parents and one of his closest friends at a young age. Witnessing all the evils the world had to offer, he was determined to bring peace, even if it meant using force. One of my favorite things about him, which is sometimes overlooked, is his power scaling. He does not overstep his limitations. After using massive scale attacks, he would need time to recharge, keeping the balance of the power scaling intact. The fight scenes were incredible and held a lot of weight. There was a lot on the line since he murdered those closest to Naruto. Pain was crucial for Naruto's development and helped him grow even further. Even his ideologies were incredible. He committed genocides to teach the world about pain. Then afterwards he would give compelling speeches about justice and hatred, which would make you take a step back and really think about what was just said. And whether it's the anime or real life,
This world shall know pain.
Hey there, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Are there any villains you feel like I missed out on the list? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, I'd like to thank everyone who gave me suggestions for this video. Thank you once again, and I hope you all have a good day.